Hey guys, welcome to the series on getting started with the API on SXBet. This series is going to show you how literally anybody can start building programmatic betting strategies that are going to help them get an edge over other bettors and start profiting from betting. So more specifically, you're going to see lots of working sample code for all of the essential API operations with SXBet, and hopefully a few ideas for how you might put them together to create a betting bot. And I'll just add that I am not part of the SX dev team. I've never learned how to code, but I do have access to a computer, an internet connection, and the free version of a few LLMs. So in other words, all of the code that you see in this series is going to be written by an AI. On that note, I'll also add that the SXBet API is completely free to access. We don't have any paywalls, there's no elevated paid access tiers, and there's actually no commission on your bets either or any premium on winners whatsoever. It's literally the easiest place for bettors to profit because everything is so low cost. Now, if you don't care to watch me talk to an AI the entire time that I build this, and you just want to see some of the sample working code that comes out in a program, I'll be publishing all the code to GitHub along the way, and I'll put links in the descriptions of the relevant videos. If you are using any of the code that I share, remember that I'm not a dev, and just because I can paste code into a file, run it, and get my desired output does not mean that I understand it well enough by any means to check thoroughly for any logic that might produce unwanted results in a certain scenario. So just take this as your disclaimer to do your own due diligence and use this at your own risk if you're using real funds. Alright, I'm trying to keep these videos super brief, so let's get started here. The first thing that I'm going to need to start using the SX API is a code editor. That's going to let me write and edit my code. Visual Studio Code is super popular, free, and easy to use, so I'd recommend that. You can download it here, and I'll add a link in the description. You're also going to want to download Node.js so that you can run JavaScript code on your computer. I'm pretty sure the SX API supports most major languages, but the sample code in the documentation here is all written in JavaScript, so with me writing all my code with AI, I think it's going to be easier to do that. Let's go through the main endpoints that we're going to be using in this series. First up, we got metadata. Metadata isn't going to be used for any type of real operation. It just gives us a bunch of different useful info that we're going to need in our requests for things like filling orders later on. Then we've got sports, leagues, fixtures, and markets. So sports gives us all of the different sports on the exchange and their associated IDs here. And if we select a sport or use a sport ID to get the leagues within there, you can see all of the different leagues that are available for that sport ID. Then we've got fixtures, which are basically the different matches upcoming within a league. So then if we click into those, we've also got markets. So these are all of the different individual bettable markets. So that could be spread, money line, total, and each market is going to be for a specific fixture, which is within a certain league and in a certain sport. So next there is orders, and within there's a few different endpoints that we might use. So the first is getting active orders. That's going to allow us to get a snapshot of what's available on the order book. So these orders would be fetchable through the get active orders endpoint. So then we've got post a new order. If I wanted to post a new offer for somebody else to fill, like I'm doing so on the screen right now, I could do so through the API with the post new orders endpoint. I could also cancel my bet through the API with the cancel individual orders endpoint. Or I could cancel all of the orders on a certain event or all of my orders, period, with the cancel all orders endpoint. Then we've also got filling orders, which is filling other people's offers that they've posted with the post new orders endpoint. So we can place a taker bet on the UI to show what that looks like here, but we could also do it through the API automatically or programmatically with the fill new orders endpoint. And then finally, we've got trades. We can get the trades for any market, future or past, or any user with the trades endpoint. Now I'm going to get the project set up in Visual Studio Code and build my first function to get the metadata. Simple prompt here just to get the project going. I say that I want to start building a betting bot for SX in JavaScript, and to get started, I want to set up the project in VSC and write a function to get the metadata. So then I'll go to the docs for the metadata endpoint here, and I'm going to copy that whole page, and we'll come and paste it in at the bottom here. So the first step here is to create a new folder or open yours in Visual Studio Code, which I've already done. Then I need to initialize the project with this command npm init. Next, I'm going to have to install the required dependencies with this command here, which I'll run in the terminal. And then last step, create a new file. We'll call it index.js as I've been instructed to here. Then we'll go get all of the code for the program and paste it right in there, save it, and then run it with the command node and then the file name. Great, now we've got all of the metadata for the SXR network returned from the API.